Howdy, everyone.
Also, what is that shirt that's on my bed? It looks cool.
Isn't it cool? It says, what does it say on it?
The Legend of Snacky Halloween.
I know, Legend of Snacky's Halloween. It's a TikTok follower that I follow. He makes his own Disney clothesline, and that's his. So I supported another TikToker that's trying to make a career out of this. Him and his wife and his two daughters are trying to make a clothing line store. It's super soft, isn't it? So I got it for you. It's don't swim in that shirt, but I like it. I know it's kind of Halloweenish, but
I'm wearing your shirt right now.
it's the only pattern I like. Did you see Travis's? We all float. It's about the floats.
Of course.
Yeah. Shut the door. Gotta go live. I'm late. Sorry I'm late, guys. Like just 2 seconds ago, before I started to go live, I found out one of my friends, Papa's daddy's passed away, and she's a daddy girl, and I feel so bad for her. I know how she feels. It is not fun when daddy's passed, but he passed at home with his family and everybody around him, so it wasn't traumatic or anything. So, but still, it's always traumatic when daddy passes. So I had to stop and collect my thoughts and say something to her and then get back on. So sorry about that. I was all like ready to come on and was telling y'all I'm ready, and then I took 10 minutes instead of 5. But anyway, today has been crazy. Yeah. She's been my friend since I moved here in Arizona with my mom. After my dad passed away, she asked us to move in with her. She didn't want to be all alone. In 2013, and I met her then. And she has a boy named Trey who's friends with Travis and James the whole time. So how many years is that? 2013? 9 years now. So yeah. Pretty cool. Good girl. I'll have to invite her up to the Airbnb next week and let her come swimming up there and get away from some of the sadness for a day, I think, is what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to do it today. I'll wait a couple of days and ask her. See if she wants to come up there. Sorry. I'm looking to post one more thing so that I can finish getting everything out where it's supposed to be. There we go. And post one more thing. Oh, it didn't copy the link. Okay, that won't work. Never mind. Okay. Hi, Princess. Hey, Ilana. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I took a Snapchat of that so I could try to remember everybody. I did some tutoring today. It was really fun this morning. Hey, Go-Kart. Good to see you. Hey, Jess, Redhead. Hey, Jill. Good to see you. It's good to see everybody. Everybody ready to practice some practice exam questions. I also have finished the part of Lab and Path where we go over some of our new codes that we have. We have a section of like MDM stuff now in Lab and Path, which is so cool and interesting. We have another one of those charts, like it's what's on page 17 in Lab and Path, where we have to do 2 of 3 or 3 of 3 for laboratory consultations. So it's very cool. We got 3 codes. They're kind of like E&M codes, but for laboratory. They're new this year, and I have them worked up, and I actually have a new aapc CPC exam question ready for that area too. And Travis, y'all don't even want to know. 3 days in a row, this child Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to spout it, but he's pushing every little button. I guess 13-year-olds do that, but he comes with some extra turbo gusto, I think, than most 13-year-olds. If I survive this, I hope he appreciates it when he's older anyway. And doesn't hate me by then. Aw, I love you too, Travi, but, you're grounded for the entire summer, bud. 3 days in a row. What was Monday? Arson, right? Yeah. What was Tuesday? Tuesday was destruction of property because he totally red dyed, painted, blood splatter all over his Converse shoes to wear to school this morning. And he didn't show me or tell me, and nobody said a word until the second it was time for him to walk out the door. He puts them on to head out the door. And they're like bloody red splattered permanent paint. And then I won't even tell you what he did at school today. So needless to say, the principal called me and said, that's enough. Come get him. And we're done. We're done with the school year, but good God, 3 days in a row. Okay. So poor Travi and poor Mommy. I am at my wit's end. Tomorrow he's got to go see a dermatologist. He's had a mole since he was born. The OB doctor told me that they accidentally cut him with a scalpel during the C-section. And that's where that mark comes from. But I knew right away it looked like a mole. I don't know how babies are born with mole, but they're born with birthmarks. But so it's just been a mole that's been there on his chest the whole time. And I don't know, maybe the OB doctor was trying to be funny. Sometimes, like when John Michael, my oldest, was born, he came into after they took the baby away, he comes back in and tells me his evaluation. The baby's not in the room with me. And he tells me, I can't find your baby. He's the only one born, after a long pause, without a birthmark. And this week or whatever, I don't know what he said after that point, but, you don't tell a mom right after they're born that. But he was just joking that he couldn't find him because he didn't have a birthmark. Travis, this dude, comes in and says he cut him during the C-section. I don't know if they're playing. I don't know if they have weird sense of humors, but yeah. Travis finally getting that one looked at tomorrow because his pediatrician doesn't like the looks of it. It looks the same to me, but she really had a fit about it the other day. So we've got to do that tomorrow right after 2 tutorings. And then I'm taking my mom Friday to go see Top Gun because, she's a fan of our Top Gun guy. If y'all have never met Tom Cruise, and say what you will about his choices in life, I've met him personally in a crowd of like 1 million people on the sidewalks in LA, and he will look you in the eye and have a conversation with you like you're the only person anywhere. And he'll do that up and down the red carpet for hours. He won't even go talk to press or nothing. He has his sister come with him, and his sister takes everybody's phones for him and does all the shots for your camera with you, for your cell phone. She does all the pictures for him, and then he does all the conversations. He'll sit there and listen to you talk about, my dad loved your movies. I love your movies. My favorite was this. He just looks you straight in the eye and acts like he isn't bored. He's truly interested in what you have to say. I don't know how. I'm not an eyeball looking deeply into people's faces kind of person anyway, but he has a gift of truly engaging people, which is really interesting. Liam Neeson won't even look at you or talk to you. He gets mad if you come near him. So there's lots of actors that are like that, Rihanna and other ones. So it's really interesting when you do meet somebody that really likes you. So anyway, taking Mama to go see her Top Gun guy on Friday. And then Saturday is packing for our trip on Sunday. So it's going to be really busy. I will definitely still do a live on Friday, but that will probably be it until, what day? Friday will be the only live unless I start having, withdrawals from you guys, which I'm sure I will, until the 6th, Monday the 6th, because I'll leave Sunday and come back on the 4th. So it'll probably be Monday the 6th. So sad. Unless I take my book and phones and go, I can't take it no more. Can't have the withdrawals. We'll see. But let me know if y'all have any questions. Poor Travis. I know. We all deserve medals. I'm sure y'all have the same drama goes on in y'all's lives. Maybe not quite as creative as Travis is, but we are all in this together. The shoes, we paid for them. And it's like, he doesn't see that as destruction of property. Oh no, it's just something Mommy bought. Well, that's my money. I paid for it. And you totally, and he got the walls all red, the sinks all red. The walls into his bedroom are covered with red paint, handprints. Everything's dyed pink after, you wash it. It all kinds of look pink. So I got to get some more flat base paint to cover up all that. Lord have mercy. Hey, Trisha, how's it going? I have 2 tutorings tomorrow and I've got that dermatology appointment, which is an hour away. So it's an hour drive there, an hour drive back. But I've got Fidea and tomorrow at 12:30. If she happens to be in this live, can we back that up to noon? Is that going to be okay? Because it's an hour drive and I have to be there at 2:30 to fill out new patient paperwork for a 3 o'clock appointment. And that will only give us 50 minutes or an hour. I mean, today we did 2 hours. That's our normal thing. I try to do 2 hours with everybody, even though you only book an hour with me. We go until we get tired, but I don't know if she's on, if she wants to reschedule or back it up at 30 minutes would be good. I know she's got kids and her life going on too that is crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah. Her, I don't know what her name is. I do know her name on Discord, I think. I'll message her. I can get a hold of her. I just thought if she happens to be on the live, we could chat. Her and her sister are both tutoring with me. So super fun to have everybody in the family. I'm just working on Lab and Path right now. I about got everything highlighted and bracketed together. And then I just have to go through after that and then write down some summaries of what's going on in each code and your one word differences. I've done that for a lot of the sections, of course, which is super cool. And fixed, I think I got all the out of code sequencing done so far for this chapter. I just have to do medicine for that part now. I know somebody asked me about where some code was because it was out of sequence and they couldn't find it. I hope y'all in Discord helped them. I never did get back to that question. There she is. There's Fidea. I'm so sorry. See if my sister will take little one to school. Yeah, my first tutoring tomorrow is Miss Edwards. We go from 7 till 9 in the morning, and then you're my last one of the day, so you're my other one. So anytime, if you can get on anytime after 9 a.m., tomorrow, anytime. I just want to be sure and give you enough time to do everything we wanted to do tomorrow. So I just didn't plan this out right. When they called, we already had you scheduled for that appointment. And I'm going on vacation the next week after that. And Doc didn't want it to wait a long time. She put in a rush referral because she thinks it's growing edges or something, ridges. And, I see it every day, so I didn't notice that big of a difference. I've got the same thing in the same spot, which is really unique because genetically we might not be genetically connected in that way, but we both have the same mole in the same spot. It's so cool. I just think that's really neat because, Travis was just meant to be mine anyway. But no worries. I enjoyed working with your kiddo today, too. He's so sweet, wanting to go out, wanting to go. And we were counting down the amount of questions I still had left for her to do. I'm talking to her kid like her kid can hear me, but she was actually on headphones. So, yeah, I'm not bright, but I was still talking to her kid. So right now, all I'm doing is going through fixing the out-of-code sequences. So if your code has a red notation and it's totally in red, you need to go through the entire book, go find where that code is, and put the page number down beside it, because that means when it's red, it's somewhere else where it should not be. It should be right here, but it's not. And because our exam is all numbers, basically, and you're just going to be running from number to number, this book is in numerical order, and you need to be able to find those numbers quickly. And there's nothing worse than getting down to the exam and not knowing that you need to do that. I paid for a ton of information from a lot of sources online, and no one told me that for a whole year that you needed to do that. It was just a kept secret? I have no idea, but no one said anything about that. So please be sure and do that. It's a pain. I know it is, but I promise it's worth it if you get one of those exams where every code in lab, path, and medicine is out of sequence. There's even a lot of E&Ms that are out of sequence, so it gets stressful. I have some new lab questions after this first repetitive one. I have one repetitive one, and then I think I have two that Dea did today, but the rest are going to be new. So stick around for that. Got some new Lab and Path. I know it's getting late for you in New York. But after I fix all the out-of-code sequences, I highlight if a CPT code has a parentheses, those little C things. If it has one, I highlight what's inside of it, because that tends to be in the questions a lot of times during your certification exam. So I mark those. If any CPT codes have a do not underneath it right afterwards, for anybody new, I double star those in red and underline them, because I know on your certification exam, absolutely 100%, some question is going to have this code with one of these codes where it says do not use, and they're just going to test you to see if you know how to use that part of the book. So I go through the entire book and double star those and underline them so that y'all don't forget. If it actually tells you to use a certain code with another code, which is so helpful sometimes, and they do it sometimes in the parenthetical notes, I'll mark it with 2 blue stars and underline it so that I know I need to use that one with that one. Those two only go together. And they do that because sometimes these other codes kind of look like they might go with that add-on code, but nope, it only goes with only the 5. You can't do it with the 4. So that's super helpful to mark those. Let's say, hey moms, how's it going? Hey Mir. Lab is all over the place. It is awful. Hey Momo. And I hope Mean is having a great vacation, but I am so anxious for her to take her exam because she is rocking them. And Miss Edwards and Fidea are really taking off this week. I have a hard time finding any questions they can't answer. Very rarely are they getting anything wrong. And if they do, it's something new that they've never seen before. There was a question today in Lab and Path where they just rattled off a bunch of random tests. And then you got to know in that question, that is a panel. Just because they rattled those codes off, you got to know that it's a panel. And so if the doctor orders a carbon dioxide, a chloride, a potassium, and a sodium together, what are you going to code? Well, you're not going to code the individual codes for those 4 tests. What you're going to order is an electrolyte panel, which is your 80051. And if you're in the middle of the exam and you go to this 82435 because they said order a chloride, and then you go to the 84132, they're not going to say near those codes, that's a panel. Go check here on this page, which is going to be super far away. So that's one of the learning curves we had today during our session was that, oh, how do you know that's a panel? Well, I know it because I did Lab and Path. I used to run a lab in Memphis, Tennessee back in the 90s. We had a lot of, we did an HIV clinic and stuff out there, and I got really good at drawing blood from all sorts of places, but I also ran tests in the lab, and I sent out all that blood. But if you're not clinical and haven't worked in the field every day using that verbiage, how would you know that a carbon dioxide, chloride, potassium, and sodium is in a panel, and you would order it right here because it's an electrolyte panel? So that's one area. If y'all are in Lab and Path right now, we only have these 2 pages of panels. They're the codes with the 00 in them. You might want to take some notice on some of the smaller ones, like the electrolyte panel, the lipid panel. Those 2 for sure. And find a way to remember that those ordered together would be a panel, and you would be up here in the front. Or go to each one of those codes that are in this one or in the lipid panel and write, if ordered with potassium, sodium, and carbon dioxide, it's a panel. Go code this. Got to find a way to get that writing down to a lot smaller, shorter sentence, but we'll figure it out along the way here as we're working on it. The lipid panel has just the cholesterol, an HDL, and a triglyceride in it. It's one of the smaller ones. That also might be one of the ones that they just randomly order, and then you got to figure out, oh yeah, that's a panel. We wouldn't order just the individual codes, but you got to know it because it's not going to, I haven't checked out those codes individually. We'll have to go check those out and see if they have a notation in the parentheticals that let you know that that's part of a panel. I don't know. Haven't looked that far. I just kind of know it off the top of my head, and I forget what y'all might not know because of what I know in my head. I just take it for granted and not know that y'all don't know that. Anyway, any other questions before we get started on some practice exam questions? Boy, I had 50 people on. I've already lost 20 of them. Oh my. But thank y'all for the hearts and the shares. I really appreciate it. I think it pushes out this, whatever I'm doing, out to more people, which is great. Where is our HDL? 83718. Let's go look that up. 837. Well, I got it on my mind. 837. 837. 837 what? 18. 37 18 down here at the bottom. Just says HDL. There is no note about this could be part of a panel at all, is there? Not a thing. Wow. Okay. I wonder if I made notes last year about that. Where's my CPT book from last year? 837. Did I put some notes? 837. Yes, I'm behind on emails. I'm behind on messenger messages. It's just been crazy. And now my kids are out of school, so I'm not ever going to get any peace. I didn't even make any notes last year. Oh my. No. Okay. All right. Last year book didn't even note it either. So this year we'll definitely find a way to mark some of these up. Hey, Beth, there you are. I've been talking about you. Have your ears been burning? I have so many people asking me about Practicode. I even made today a Discord room in my Discord down here. I changed one of them. Like Discord tips, I changed it because you couldn't tell it was Discord tips, so I changed that. But I made a room for practice code because I have a lot of people asking me about practice code. Is it worth doing? I bet it takes an entire year to do. It sounds horrifying of the people that are on the AAPC Facebook page when they talk about doing it, that it's pretty difficult, or they had some errors, wipe out all their answers that they worked on. But are you learning a lot? Are you not learning a lot? Have you got any tips, advice? Would you do it ever again? That would be awesome if you had a little moment of time to go in here and give some people some advice, because they're asking me about it. And until I buy it and do it myself, which I have no want to do it because it sounds like it's a lot of work, because I had my A removed before I even took my CPC exam. I just sent them my college transcripts and my work history, and that it just seems like it's a lot of work because it's not A, B, C, or D. It's fill in the blank of everything on the claim. It looks horrifying. But how's it going? Did you finish it yet? So many questions for you. Good to go to each code in the panel and make a note. Yep. Could be part of a panel. Yep. That's what I'm going to try to figure out and find the most efficient way to write that out, Betty, here. It may be time consuming. Yeah. It seems like they're only doing the littler bitty ones. So the lipid panel and the electrolyte, do those two first. And then, the OB panel with the CBC and HIV, go do that one too. Thank you, butterflies, for the follow. You just had to pay for an extension. Oh, no. It's difficult, huh? It's time consuming. Girl, I made a TikTok today about it. I got my books for next year in my shopping cart with my annual renewal, and it's $600. It's in the shopping cart. I'm like, I don't want to hit take my money yet, but it's yearly. Oh, it's a great deal. I hear it's a lot of work. Practice Code is another service that AAPC will sell you so that you can get the apprenticeship taken off of your CPC certification. After you pass it, you'll be given an apprenticeship the scarlet red or scarlet A or whatever you want to call it at the end of your CPC initials for the first year, because they want you to be experienced before they give you a full CPC, even though you pass the CPC exam. Unless you have college credits or job history to submit to them where you can get your A taken off right from the get-go. I submitted all mine before I even scheduled my exam. I was like, y'all ain't giving me no scarlet red A, whatever that is. Nope. I've been in the field too long. So Betty did hers too off my advice. I had, go get yours off. So Betty got hers, but Beth is a registered nurse, but she had to get hers off too. I don't know why. It seems like, I mean, she's dealing with ICD10, CPT, and HCPCS every day, all of her life, every year. She's clicking an EHR. Had to have had an experience that somebody could have signed off on and sent to AAPC. But without it, you really need to get that red letter A off of you, or you have to pay for this another course to take. And if you take this course and you pass it, then you can get your A taken off if you don't have an experience. But it's a lot. Some people will be able to get the A off by completing practice code. Yep. Hey, MK, how's it going? Good to see you. We're all missing you, Beth. I'm about to give up. I'm still working on as an R. You know, send me some of your screenshots. Let me see if I can figure out a way to help you. Whatever your next study or question is or whatever, send me a full view of it and let me look at it and see if I can't troubleshoot a way to figure out how to find the answers easier. Even the URL that you're in may be helpful. I found a way to find the answers on their CPB and COC and CIC courses on their case studies where they don't give you the A, B, C, or D. It's not the quiz. It's that whole thing that you fill in the blank. I found a way through their URL to find the answer before you submit your own answer. I'm a devil of an auditor. So anyway, send me some screenshots. Let me see if I can't troubleshoot something. You're still working as an RN. Bless your heart. Panels have the 0 zeros in them. You're right. Perfect. Codify. I was looking at that last night. Codify, and their layman terms is the only thing that I would have been interested in. And I got a sneak peek at somebody else's, and nope. It's nothing else that I couldn't Google and find out myself. I don't think Codify is very helpful. That's just my opinion. I've not bought it and I didn't work in it. It's 60 more bucks or something like that. But if you are really coding, they have like this $500 or $600 option where it will tell you everything on the claim that you will need to go along with that CPT code. Alerts for this, that, and the other thing, like don't use this modifier, only go with this modifier, only go with this practice code or PCS codes. It'll do all kinds of craziness for you. I believe. I haven't seen it in person do that. I've only seen the $70 version. But that $500 a month or something version, I don't know. It looks like it's got tons of edits and things in it that could help you if you're in a real job and you're coding and you don't know what you're doing and you want all the answers for whatever CPT code. That might be handy dandy, but I can't imagine a group not already having some sort of edits and checks built into their EHR that would already tell you that anyway. So I don't know how helpful that is, but I would not get Codify. completion will give you the equivalent of 1 year experience. Yep. And if you can't finish it, it just seems like busy work to me. I don't know whether she's learning anything other than how to Google or keep changing your answer into something different until it accepts your answer. I don't know if it's really teaching her anything that's helpful. I'd have to ask her. It should apply. You're dealing with the codes. You're billing the codes. You're sending it off to claims. All they do is adjudicate. It's such a pain. It's terrible. OB panel. Yes, OB panel, electrolyte panel, and lipid panel. Please mark those up. It's not fun. Yeah, send me some screenshots. If you already did that, I'm sorry, but send them to me again. Send me something so that I can look at it. I'm really interested into seeing if I could help out. Any tips on labeling anatomy images in the CPT book? Yep. So let's
jump on the trampoline for a little
Nope. Nope. You're not leaving my side until after my live. Listen to that. I'm a rhyming mommy. Yep. We're going to stay right here where I can keep my eye on you, my love, my little. You know, California has this 3 strikes and you're out law. You don't live in California anymore, boy. Here we go. Let me find my females. So, what you do is go to your anatomy chart, go to the header right there, whatever your header is, open you up a new Googly tab, and type that sucker in, female. I won't say that because he'll just giggle. The second word, and then system, and then type function afterwards. So female, whatever you call it, system function. Go, hit go, and then go to images. You will come up with a bunch of images just like this one. Some of them will have a lot more information than others. And let me see, where's the one that I used? Like, what's the purpose? They'll come up with all kinds of cool information that, here we go. What do the ovaries do? I love it when they have the little paragraph. And then what do the fallopian tubes do? What are the things? And then just write down a little something about each one. So our fimbriae, those little flappy things right there, move the ovum into the fallopian tubes. During ovulation, the ovary produces progesterone. Just do that all the way through the entire book. Anytime there's a picture, Google it and put function at the end. And then write whatever. Also, when you get done with that, go to just a Google list, like we'll do another Google search. We'll do female. Yeah, instead of function, we'll take that off. We'll put in prefix list. Google that prefix list, just like that. Female, yep, prefix list. Write those in. Then go back and then switch prefix for suffix list. And then write those once that comes up. So super helpful to write out prefix, suffixes, even root words for each section can greatly increase your scores because you'll have it based off of each sections, and you'll have, it's good busy work when you're done practicing coding and you've had enough and you can't take it no more and you don't want to look at another CPT code. Well, I call this coloring, where I go in and just color from one section to another. I'm just copy and pasting Google searches for prefixes, suffixes, and root words and writing those in. It's not a lot of mental work, but you get a lot of production work out of it because you've done a lot of the work for the anatomy and you don't even realize how helpful it is. I like to look up the list, like what's the male endocrine list, list the organs, what's the female endocrine list, list the organs. There's all kinds of stuff you can Google and then just copy into your book that could be helpful during your exam and just write it in, and then it's there. You don't have to memorize it. If you keep it separated by which section it's in, what's important is to keep it where you know where you can find it. That helps more than anything. And then it's there during your exam. Your exam is an open book exam, so you can fill up any white spaces that are not typed on and with any information that you want. So that's how I do that. My sister said she can drop him off so we can go earlier if you want. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so sorry though, Fideato. So whenever you're ready, let me know. As soon as I get done with Miss Edwards, I'll message you and we can get started for whenever. I just don't have to leave till like 1:15. So we'll have 9, 10, 11. We'll probably be both tired by then if we do start around 9 or 9:30, whatever. But thanks. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your sister. I owe her big time. Who's not leaving my side? Any tips on leaving anatomy? I did that one. It's not fun. I know. I heard it's not fun. Lipids, OB, and electrolyte. What was the other one? I think that's all the OB. Yeah, the OB that has the CBC and HIV in it. Those are the only ones that I thought I've seen on the practice exam questions so far. I haven't seen any of the other panels. Yeah, I haven't seen anything else. That was one of those kind of questions. So I think that should be good. I think you should be good there. All right. Heather, good idea. Yep. That's what I do. I use Google to its fullest. Absolutely. So I have one repeat question that I want to make sure everybody knows. And I wrote this in today on my front page that starts out with Lab and Pathology. I just wrote this one down there today. So I just wanted to make sure y'all did know this too, because I got it wrong. Anyway, y'all are getting it right, but I get it wrong each time. So if we're identifying something by the patterns of its growth, what is that called? Definitive, quantitative, qualitative, or presumptive? What kind of test is that if it's based on identifying something by its growth pattern? Sorry, I gotta get some water. Yep, presumptive. So I wrote that one in today. Growth pattern culture equals presumptive down here, just to have it. Y'all have seen the question a couple of times. I just wanted to make sure. Jill, you're awesome. For some reason, you have a three badge on your name. It's kind of cool showing up to me. All right. Here's another one. So for process, I kind of like the 180s, right? And then they're all the same. All we've got is 2 4 and a 7 and a 9. So what's going on with the 2 4 is probably where I'd start off first. 8 8 1 8 2 4. We got that DNA analysis is what I have is the difference on 182. 184 is cell surface, not cell phone service, but cell surface is my difference on this one. Y'all may have seen this one this week, but I wanted to make sure we did it again. And then we've got our 87 and 89. 87 is an interpretation, and then 89 is for more markers. So we've got this one that is asking us just simply for one sentence. So what is y'all's best guess on this one? Interpretation with markers. Yep. I didn't see it on my side. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why some people have these fancy little doodaddies. I'm assuming it means to alert me over something. Because if I look at Betty or somebody that is like when they talk, who's a moderator or something, they have a little symbol, but it's not that one. I think maybe it's like the donuts or something. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it all out, but the auditor in me is like crazy on that one. But yep, I like A with this one, Nikki. A. I believe. We'll see what our answer is. Yes, A is it. Analysis just simply matches up with our analysis on this one. And that's our 82. Yep. This is the one I did a TikTok on today, and I'm sorry it's a very touchy subject, especially with everything going on here in the United States today or this week. So if you are in a place where you can't handle one more baby thing going wrong today, I don't suggest you watch this question. But it is a question I've been asked for months to find the question on because nobody knew what the answer was. So I found it today of all days, working with Fidea, and I'm just going to share it. So it's sensitive subject though. So we got an autopsy on a 39-week gestation. And we've got these CPT codes to go with it. So if we go to 880, and we go to the postmortem examinations, our first one is our 14, which is under the header or MAMA code for gross examination only. If we look at our 20 or 29, that's the MAMA code for 29. So you got to look at MAMA too, which is gross and microscopic, before you look at 29. So 29 is there too. And then we have 40, which is under forensic examination, and it's its own MAMA code. And then we have our last one, which is our non-specific, our 99, which will more than likely not be the correct answer for anything because it's an unlisted procedure, and they don't really like picking on those. So our question is asking for a gross and microscopic. It doesn't say anything about brain or with brain or without brain, but if we just pay close attention to our mama codes for these, you can get this one. You can't just go down to the 14 and the 29 and be able to tell the difference, because they both say the same thing. So all you have to do is keep in mind of your mama codes. So 14's here, 29's here, but they don't tell you enough info. You really have to go to your mama code to see your two differences right there. And it's a bad analogy because it's the subject matter, but this is what I always call these codes are the mama codes, and then these are the child codes underneath it. But anyway, so you know your answer is going to be everybody's got B. Yes, you hurry right back. You're on a timer. You're on a timer. It's 7:27. You talk about me sitting. I've been sitting in this chair teaching since 7 a.m. I ain't got nothing on you, or you ain't got nothing on me about sitting there 5 minutes. Well, it's been 30. 29 is your answer. We do have a lot of, what do they call that? I don't know what they call that, but they do tell you a lot of explanation on this one, which is kind of nice. And we are on page 685 of the 2022 CPT book. What's one word for B? Well, we technically won't have one word differences. What we're going to have is bracketed gross. This is going to be all gross exam only. So you're going to have to think of two words for this subset. We're going to have gross only. And then this bracket is going to be gross and micro. So for our 29, it's just an autopsy. It's just an autopsy, and our only differences, I mean, they're both stillborn or newborn with the brain, so they're just autopsies of a newborn, I guess, because stillborn is the same thing as newborn. I don't know. So that's the only difference, is whether we're doing gross only or we're doing newborn and stillborn, because we've got an infant above it, so there's a difference. I believe the difference between the infant and the newborn is 28 days and less. I'll try to find more information if we have a timeline, what is considered newborn and what is considered an infant, but I believe it's the 28 days or less are newborns and 29 days and up are infants. They took a breath. Well, newborns take breath too, and they still sometimes die within an hour. My mother's first sibling was a son who lived about a couple of days. So would you consider him a newborn, or would you consider him, he's not a stillborn, but he's not an infant either. So anyway, I know we have that NICU E&M.
I saved it, mine.
NICU E&M. Yeah, but you're eating on my toadstool, which is white.
Oh,
so
crap, I forgot.
Bend over the tile or something. Yeah, just in case it comes out of your mouth. So I'll try to find out more information on the differences, but I know our E&M for NICU is 28 days and less. And then we move on up to 29 days of our infants. But interesting, this question has been on the exam routinely for months now. And I've been trying to find this question forever because people were asking me about it because they remembered the brain was on the CPT code descriptor, but there was nothing in the question about it. And they didn't know which code to pick. Well, to be able to pick the right code, you just have to make sure you're under the correct mama code, which is the 000 and the 20. Could be very correct. I know the stillborns haven't taken a breath, but newborns do. They take breaths. The SIDS babies, you know, it just stopped breathing. Now y'all got alarms and stuff. Y'all can come home with those babies and have those footy things and the alarms go off. Ugh, I just used to cat nap with mine on my chest watching him. I don't think I slept for the first year. I was so scared of SIDS. Yeah. All right. Here is one of those new questions that Fidea had this morning. If we're testing chloride can be found in both basic panels, which other organ or disease panel also has this test of chloride? So what you have to do for this question is to go to the panels and you just do a word search, right? For every single test panel to see if you can find chloride. Well, it's in the renal one, so you go up here and see, okay, renal. We got one with renal. Is it also in the electrolyte? Go to the electrolyte. Yep, it's in the electrolyte too. So, is it in the general one and the electrolyte? Or is it just in the lipid panel? We go to the lipid panel. Chloride's not in there. Lipid and obstetric, it's not in the lipid. We already discussed that. So B would definitely be your answer for that one. Yep. Just be sure you know where your panels are at. They're on page 599 and 598. I was telling her the totally wrong numbers. I was going like 589 this morning, totally dyslexic. So be sure to know where to find those are. Here's our other question that was totally rough this morning. If we did a total calcium, carbon dioxide, and a sodium, the three elements located in what three different panels? And if you didn't know what three different panels meant, because no one had discussed with you what was on page 589 and 599, and you're in the middle of the exam and you had no clue what this meant to even go find this might be very difficult for you. Thank you, Steph, for the roses. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the share and the 1,000 likes. Guys, I really appreciate it. Any donations like that are going to free notes from me to somebody. I gotta have some drawings. Gotta write down some names and throw them in a bucket to give some stuff away. Chloe, you've been washing your fur incessantly all day. I am going to give you a bath, girl. Keep it up. I know. So let's see. You would have to go through all these panels and make notes of which one of these has calcium, chloride, and sodium in them and which codes they were. So I've got one guess so far at D. Anybody else want to take any guesses? Have y'all done any word searches? It's in 47. Let's see, where's she got? 47. Do we have all three of those? Calcium? Total, it doesn't say. Carbon dioxide, it's in there. Sodium. Sodium is in there. So 48 is a good one. So anything with a 48 in it is good. Has this one got 48 in it? 47, not 48. 48 has it in there. Not 47. We only have calcium, carbon dioxide, and sodium. Is it in there too? It's in there too. 47 and 48.
I'll be right back to throwing yours.
Yes, C is your answer, guys. We got 48, 53, which is our comprehensive, and we have our 69, which is our renal panel. Yeah, D was wrong. Because the 74 does not have any of those in it, and the 53 does, but it's the 74 that throws it off. That one doesn't have any of those in it. They just wanted to know which option had all three in it for all of the options. So don't just pick the first one that is correct and run. 53 doesn't have it in it either. 53. You got to check all three codes to see the calcium, the carbon dioxide, and the sodium is in 53. Yeah, you can't bill 47 and 53 together. That is correct because they have the same codes in them, except for the calcium is ionized in 47. It's not total. So that's a really interesting question if you've never dealt with any of these panels before. So maybe that'll help some of y'all's scores in Lab and Path. So here's your new questions, Fidea, that you didn't get to see this morning. Thank you for the share. Very much so. So it looks like we're still over here in some of these panels, some of these codes. They are asking us only go from the bottom up. We really don't need to know nothing else other than that. So we're drawing the following test. These are your tests. The CBC, hepatitis B, syphilis, RBC, ABO, blood type, and cross. I am RH negative if anybody has that issue. I also have the alien blood, which is O negative, which they say is not from this planet, which is interesting. Hey, Clo. Hey, Magpie. Sweet girl. Sweet girl. Do you think we'd order all those tests as 7 individual tests? Or do you think they might be in a bundle somewhere? There is a consistent bundle up here with the 0055 that's in 3 of your answers. Then all you got to do is figure out where would this one come from. What are you missing from that OB or this panel right here that you might have to order one more test from? So then you got to go find your 8100s, which are totally out of sequence and completely far away from all these panels. You got to go find 81000, then 05, then 025, wherever in the Hades they are, because they're all over the place, unless you are good and wrote down where they might be. You also do have a parenthetical up underneath there about syphilis, which is interesting. She's always roaming from one end of the house to the other. Silly kitty. Silly kitty. Is Twinkle on here? How long have I been on?
I'm gonna put a long sleeve shirt under this shirt because I'm cold. It's freezing.
No. There's no need in that, Travis.
Just putting a long sleeve shirt.
Leave it open and hurry right back.
He's watching something he's not supposed to be doing.
Hurry back, Travis. Quit checking on him and being Daddy Travis. Yeah, it's a super hard chapter for sure. Everybody saying B? Y'all be cool. Y'all are right. Our your 1025 does go with your OB panel. And you can make a note of this right here. 81025 with your 55 code gets you your CBC, your Hep B, rubella, your syphilis, your RBC, and your type and cross. Fancy words, but you could put ABO and your RH. One more hour. Awesome. Thank you, Twinkle. Lots of explanation for that one. We'll skip it and go on to our next one. So, lots of abbreviations here. SHBG. Anybody have an idea? Betty's eyes is probably twitching right now with these abbreviations. She is the abbreviation queen. PCOS. Patient suffering. Now, I know most of us have probably heard about that, but what test would you order for this? Do you think it would be 3 codes versus 1? And what does coding my little coding methodology about looking for similarities get you to? I would probably start with D and C and look at these first to see if they're a match. 84270. Yeah, it's most than likely 1 code. Please show the note. What note? What note are we talking about? I need to transfer to my book. I put just this little note underneath the OB note. I haven't finished it yet. I'll add some more stuff to it, but with 18025, it will include CBC, Hep B, rubella, RBC, syphilis, and type and cross. So right here, 842. 842. 84270. I don't have anything for these codes at all. 70 and 75. What? Am I in the right spot? 842. Good Lord. All right, so we got hormones or an acid. Very cool. Luckily, our 70 does have that SHBO in what? What does it have it in? The parentheses that Jen is always telling you guys that are usually showing up in the exam questions. That right there. Now, this is a diagnosis that could go along with this CPT code. So if 70 is our correct answer, I would write down that diagnosis for PCOS, polycystic ovarian disease, in case y'all didn't know. Many women in the United States suffer from this one. And I just made a note beside it because, yes, D is your answer for sure. You need to be where I can see you. All right. Come on. You can focus. You can focus. I know you can. You got plenty of battery juice. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good job. Oh my gosh. Camera. I still don't like looking at this computer screen after it focused on that. Come on. There you go. Much better. Question 1, I didn't notice until I started flashing it. So sorry about this question. Sorry. This one was on my CPC exam. It was a death scene, though, with this coming on. I'm glad I haven't seen that question since. But looking at these answers, it's probably not the 99, because it's probably a non-specific code. So I would start with the other codes first. Let's go rock around. I don't know why the 125 is singing in my head at me, but there must be a reason. But y'all can start with any code you want, the 04 or the 08. I think they're probably going to be all close in the same area. 88, 125. I mean, it's just screaming so loud at me I can't stop talking about it because it's just screaming for some reason. Yep, that's forensic. What is our 04? And then our 06, 08. 08 is concentration technique. The other one is washing and brushing. What do you guys think? Forensic sounds neat, but it does sound interesting about the washing and brushing. You'd think maybe they would want to wash all that out and see if there was anything in there, but they're not describing that in the forensic one, but that may be what happens too, so I have no idea. I have to look up the code and see, but yes, y'all are correct, and the 125 that was screaming at me is correct for sure. Yeah, the answer is the 125. That is your rape kit. Oh, I'll probably get this thing banned for saying that. I should have said something different. I hope not. Before I download it and save it to YouTube. Okay. Here we go. We've got a chromosomal one. Oh, I was highlighting those today, and it goes on and on and on forever. It's a lot. We've got a lot of chromosomal testing. So very interesting. We've got a differences between the 30 and 32 or the 20 and 22. So we're not going to get much breathing room here. We're going to have to look them all up. So 81420. I don't know why lab and path has to be such a dreary subject. Sorry about that. Just trying to help. I don't mean to offend anybody at all. Promise. Some of these questions were on y'all's recent exams, and then some of them were on mine. So, chromosomals, if I had any on my exam, I was too exhausted by that time. I was already 5 and some hours in to my exam, and I would have shut my brain off by that time. 18420. All this mess. It goes on and on and on forever. They are the largest group of CP descriptor thingies. They're like forever. Okay. So 20 and 22, they start off with the same thing. You have to go one word at a time. Fetal, fetal, chromosomal, chromosomal. Then your differences are micro, delineated, or aneuploid. Yep, for your trimissy. That's your Down syndrome. 43, no, 30. You're 30. Where's your 30? And you're 32 for hearing loss and breast cancer. So those are easier. Which one are we doing for? Microdelineation. That was my second code, right? Yep, C. So be sure and have that one word difference noted, which will be very important. Also, you can write the name of that diagnosis that goes along with that chromosomal analysis up underneath the CPT code. I would recommend right next to the word 2017, just write that diagnosis there. D. George. Syndrome. Because even if you don't get that micro delineation out of a question, you might get the DiGeorge syndrome out of a question. And then you can pick that out of your answers. Yep. It had it in the parentheses, which again is why I always say to highlight those. Yep. Super cool that it does that. Yep. Another big one with lots of stuff. I think these are the breast cancer ones, right? I think BR, breast cancer genetic testing. So which one does 1 and 2? Will it be something with 3 codes, 2 codes, 4 codes, or 2 codes? That's how I kind of break it up at first. I do my countings. Never know with these suckers. If we do the process of elimination, we got the 1217, 1215. These two have the same answer. Oh, always go to your same answers first. It might be one of these. What's going on with our 1162? Because that's always the first thing that I go to, is because it's a difference between those two codes, and there's a reason why. 1162 is where I would go first. And it is your BRCA1. So we've got a lot of parentheticals, so be careful of those. It says if to report BRCA 1 and 2 full sequence analysis for full whatever on the same date, use 62. Perfect. What's the other code? 63. We've got some do nots. Don't use 62 and 63 together. So we can't even do that. What's our 217 that they have here on the end? That is our BRCA2 for family variant. Very interesting. How are they saying that is the correct answer? Let's see. Do not use (1162) with 1163. I think the answer is B, but are y'all seeing something I'm not? Isn't that a do not in there that says don't use it? Do not use 1162 in conjunction with those codes. I'm on page 621. We must have something in some parenthetical somewhere or something. But it says don't use 1162 with 1163. And they're saying our answer is 1162 with 1163 together. So let's see what the says, if this makes any darn sense. According to this table, what table? Is there a table somewhere we should be using? Or are they considering the CPT codes tables? Good Lord. The best way to check your answer. The book lists several genes, how they're billed. The best way to check your answer is matching codes can be found on this table in the actual section. In the pathology procedure subsection for tier 1, they can't just tell you a page number, can they? I know, Tricia. It says don't use. I know. I'm trying to figure out what the answer is too. I haven't worked up these questions, so, you know, it's not like I know more than you guys a lot of times. But it says don't use. How do you get over that? Let me see. It says codes, blah, blah, blah. Incorrect coding, or says we're still on 162, but where is this tier 1 pathology procedure subsection, which is verified by looking it up in the tier 1 tier 1, blah, 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 that you can't tell me a page number on. Good Lord. I don't know. I may have to get back with you guys, but looks like it's probably, maybe it's these tier whatevers. What's going on here? 407. See, these aren't. The level 9. Yeah. Where's our, we've got these tables with the 11, 9. So our breast cancer one, BR, our BRCA, there's no BRCA in this one. Okay. Y'all holler if y'all see something before I do. At least they're in alphabetical order of some sort. I got BCS, no BR. I'm just looking through all this nightmarish tables here. BR, no. BR. And you know their rationale is always garbage. It's so hard to figure out. BR. We could write in the answer the way they want it and put it on that page without it making any sense, but it's really not a very good way of, it's got to be this tier 1. I'm in tier 2. So where's our tier 2 table? Tier 1 table? Tier 1? So our tier 1 molecular, yeah, which is verified what? You only get 6 questions from here. Hey PJ, what's up? Page 580. Some people are telling me it doesn't have, it does what page, which page? Okay. It doesn't have 81212 in the parenthetical. Yes, it says do not use. Look at 8164 page. 8164. I'm a looking. 81164. Where is that code? 81164 is on page 621. On the first column, Travis, 64 is a full duplication, delineation, and detection of a large gene arrangement to report BRCA2 to the full sequencing analysis of full duplicate and deletion analysis on the same date. Use code 1162. For analysis of the duplicate and delineation variant of the blah 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 blah, it says 1479. 1162 completes 1164. That's what I thought. 1162 completes. There are tables on page where? It's page 578. Oh God, those blue things I ignore the whole time that I say there's never anything there we ever need to know. I skip them. Never done a damn thing with them. 78. Our BR. Where's our BRs? Where are they? We're doing BRCA. Where's BRCA? Y'all are saying it's on page 578. There it is. All right. Holy moly. Looky there. Oh my gosh. So what do? We just ignore the parentheticals and don't go to those codes. We go to this chart on page 578. And we go here and we order those 4 tests because we're doing both 1 and 2. How do they quantify? Doing the 62, the 63, the 64, and that when you go to the individual codes, it says don't use them together. Crazy insane. Thank you so much, MK and PJ, for both hanging in there and letting me know. Wow. Y'all taught the teacher something today. Is anybody, I can find it in the 2021 now that I found it here. I've always ignored all these pages because there's never anything beneficial in them. But yeah, page 564 has your same table if you're in the 2021, and we're doing both the 1 and 2, and it tells you the answer right there. So we need to make notes near that code that says don't code here, don't pay attention to the do nots. Go code from page 564, or if you're in the 2022 book. Sorry, I gotta move stuff around. Travis, you're on page, sorry, my camera is not going to be happy with me, 578. Y'all are awesome. Streaming studio where we can all like somehow or another do this a little differently where y'all can actually like, I don't know, and not even Zoom it, because Zoom, if you talk, it does terrible. I want like my own thing or something where, anyway, y'all can see me and y'all can holler at me without disturbing the video replays. Travis, now. Travis, you're holding up the live. Come on. Travis. Slap those feet at me. What were you doing? You can't go in there, play with the water, paint.
I wasn't. I was fixing my shorts.
Your shorts are just fine. Have a seat. Oh, just like I'm going to do. Oh, hey, Momo. So sorry that took me forever. But my goodness. Yep. Oh, my Malanta. How come there's no notation? I mean, you know, like at the CPT code, if I didn't have this rationale that made no sense, how would I know as a coder that I need to go there from the CPT code descriptor? That is crazy. Where am I supposed to be at right now? Okay. 681162. Where's 62? Where are you at? 6.2. Is there a mention of this table somewhere on this thing? This molecular pathology gene table? Okay. Before I mark up my book in the middle of the lab, I'm going to have to think about this and how am I going to communicate. Don't code from here, go to that table and fix all this. Anyway, I'm sure this isn't the only code subset in this section that's going to have some sort of the same issues. I'll need to go over here and see how many do nots need to be ignored throughout all this mess. Oh my God, there's how many pages? 20 something. Anyway, I'll deal with this later. Oh, okay. So for here, C is the answer for that. It's fun to work up these questions without knowing the answers with you guys. I hope y'all don't mind. It's not cookie cutter perfect and a perfect teaching moment that we all learn something at the same time. I don't mean to waste y'all's time because I know it's very late in y'all's areas, but I hope that was fun. All right, MK. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, PJ, Betty, Twinkle, all of you guys. Really neat. Really neat. Sanchez. We've been having fun. And go-kart too. Been having fun with our tutoring sessions too, so I really appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. All right. This is crazy. All right. I'll figure out a way to describe this better and repeat it again in another live too. Once I figure out how I want my notes to be in the book. All right. Oh, I don't want to look at another Lab and Path. Oh my gosh. I'm done now. But anyway, we got to keep going, right? We got to keep going. Hey, young George. Hey, we had a neat little diagnosis of D. George today in one of our Lab and Paths. So that was kind of cool. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you are learning lots about medical coding. I will prepare 10 best questions from this. Our Lab and Path scores are going to go up amazingly now. You know that, right? AAPC is going to come after me like, what are you teaching them? You're teaching them too much. All right. Clinical Path Consult. This is my area I wanted to show y'all tonight. So we've got some new codes for our 2022, and y'all in the 2021 book won't have these codes. We've already got questions coming out about them in their practice questions. I don't know if they're on the exam yet, but they're like E&M codes. In the front where we have page 17 for our E&Ms, where we do their straightforward, moderate risk. There is now new risk codes for Lab and Path, and they are codes 80503, which is a low risk. We have 80504, which is moderate. And then we have 80505, which is high. These consult codes, the 503 does 1 to 2 laboratory pathology findings or 2 or more self-limiting problems. Our 504 does 3 to 4 laboratory pathology findings or 1 chronic illness exacerbated, or 2 stable chronics, or 1 undiagnosed problem with uncertain specificity, or an acute. The main thing is the 3 to 4. The main thing here is 1 to 2. Those are the mains. our high is going to have 5 or more pathology findings in it. So it's high on up there. Time can also be a factor in these. We have an add-on code of 06. So if there was prolonged services that just took them forever to figure out whatever was underneath the microscope or the consultation, they can add a 506 for prolonged services. We've got these codes over here on the next page. I'm on page 516. And what I did was I transferred the these 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and 5 or more right up underneath the codes, just so that I had that here next to the CPT code descriptor. And then this one is our add-on code for the prolonged services for each additional 30 minutes that it took. There are times involved in these. The 503 is 5 to 20 minutes. The 504 is 21 to 40. And then our 505 has 41 to 61 minutes. So you can use time. They do label them as 503 as being straightforward. Our 504 is moderate, and our 505 is high. And don't worry, I'm going to make a chart, something that I can post on my website or on Discord with this info written out in like a cheat sheet form so that y'all can bring it and write it into your 21 books if I haven't already done that. If you don't already have that document that's on Etsy that lists all the new codes with the descriptor so you can add them on what page. But I'll make up a cheat sheet for these so you don't have to buy that whole document just for these. But I do go through the whole book and tell you what the new codes are that you can write in with that document. But I'm going to make up something for this that will have the straightforward, moderate, and high, and then it'll have how many tests are on it too. But with all that in mind, now all we have to do is see the word straightforward and then look for the lowest number, right? Because we know the codes start out with like 503, 504, and 505 because those are our new codes. So we just pick the lowest one because it's straightforward, right? Our next one would move up to the 504, which is moderate, and then our other one is high with the 505. Please have a seat. Let me check out all these messages. Twinkle, you're so sweet. Yeah, there's no time. All they do is give you the MDM, and that's fine. We will code these just like we do our 99202 through our 99215, where all we need is time or MDM. For now, if your question has, they did 1 to 2 lab findings, then you know you're straightforward. If the question says they did 3 to 4 path findings, then you know you're moderate. If you did 6 path findings, then you know you're high and you're at a 505. Not going to be too hard. We got it. We're on page 516, 515, 514. No, 600. 616, 615, and 614. I cannot do numbers to save my soul today. This won't be in your 2021 book, PJ, because they're brand new codes for this year. See the red dots? They're not going to be there. They're brand new for 2022. Yep, it's not too bad. It's just something new, and I hate learning something new, so I'll avoid it till the last minute and then try to learn it at some other point. So 503 is our answer. 38 is thyroid issue. She's already looking to see what my next question is, maybe. Which of the following drug test is antipsychotic class definitive drug testing? So which one of these would be antipsychotic? Ketamine, acetone, HWH, or loxapine? Yes, we can go to our definitive drug table. Or if you're like Betty or not, some of us clinical people, we might know these off the top of our heads. Oh, sure. I wonder why they call this a claim destination. That's so weird. This molecular path gene thing I'm still looking at. Ugh. Claim designation. And then this BRCs have no claim designation. Sorry, I'm rolling around. Yep, we have some definitions and acronyms too to learn with all that. A or D? A or D? So acetone, we know we use it as to remove fingernail polish is what I use it for, so I don't think there's any other indications for that in the medical field, medication-wise, and I can't imagine them giving it to anybody. I don't know what they would be using it for. At all. The 398 is, I believe, is that a blood sugar medicine? I think that's a Pfizer pill, maybe, for glipizide or something. So y'all are right in your A and D. Ketamine is used in anesthesia. We use it all the time in the ER or in the OR to calm down a patient for sure. So our A is for mainly schizophrenia. So that would definitely be an antipsychotic. It can be used for things like depression and stuff like that too, but it's indicated and was tested for our schizophrenia patients. Yeah, that's where I remember it. That definitive drug table is a joy to find, and I don't want to take it away from you, really, truthfully. It's very fun to find, but if you must, it's on page 607 and 608. I am astonished how little this book is so unhelpful in finding page numbers of things. It'll tell you all day long, go look at the definitive drug table, but you can't find the page number. You can't even find it in any of the alphabetical indexes or listings or chapter listing of what's in the next chapter on page whatever. No, there's no page numbers anywhere. It's a nightmare. It's awful. I hate it. So yeah, you just pretty much have to go page by page and keep turning until you find it. So yeah, I was kind. But that drug table will help you. It's got them all listed. Which ones are antidepressants, which ones are analgesics, which ones are barbiturates. It's what I use to, if I don't know them off the top of my head, I'll mark them up right here. Which ones are opioids, which ones are whatever. And I'll go through and mark every single code and say what kind of drug it is. So, but a lot of them I know. 20-something years, you know a lot of them. That's my last lab and path. The last question I had tonight. That was it. So I hope that was helpful, for sure. That was rough. Ooh. Oh, what's the answer? Well, it's our schizophrenia drug, of course. A is our antipsychotic drug, our LOX. Yes. Sorry. I didn't realize y'all didn't listen to me. Woo, how many more minutes? I don't know how many more minutes. That was a lot. We give in depression. Y'all give it in depression. It was first made for schizophrenic patients, is what I remember, I think. But that was a long time ago, so it all runs in the same family, you know. They're all antipsychotic medications. I think it used to go by an ADA name, the spelling of the name started out with ADA, and we used to call it ADA. Just call it by that initial, but that's not the whole word. ADA. Like the manufacturer gave it a name, and it calls it. That's the generic name for it. Like Suave hairspray or something. ADA Suave something. I don't know how you say it, but we just called it ADA. ADA. Schizophrenia is a mood disorder anyway, so all works along those same lines. Mood stabilizers. But our ketamine is used for more anesthesia-like things. Yeah, 12 more minutes. Is there anything else y'all want to know or go over? Oh my gosh, I'm sure there's a million things, but...
God dang it.
Travis.
Gosh darn it.
You're going to end up with some soap in your mouth.
I said dang it.
So what? Why are you talking back to me? You're on a thin rope. If you're going to get that frustrated over a little thing like that, then stop playing it. It's not worth the aggravation or the trouble or the sentences that you're going to have to write. So we are good to write this in our books. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. I have, hold on. Y'all want to do one together? Just randomly. I don't have it done yet, but here I am here, and we can go right here. I don't know if y'all can see the whole question, But let's see. HPV, oh yes, that is a nightmare to pick out. Can be tested if type 44 is tested. Which CPT code best describes the testing? So let's see. If I was a betting woman, I like the 40, the 23, the 24, and the 25 because they're all close together. Let's go check those out real quick. 87, 87, 87.6. I was highlighting these today, cringing because there's so many different types of HPV you can pick to choose from for lab work. It's awful. 2.4, 2.5, and 2.3. I have them all red underlined because they're all out of sequence. So we've got HPV, low risk, high risk, and then the one that includes the 45 types. But this says if type 44. Ooh, this includes type 45. What does that mean? There's only one that includes 44, maybe? Which one is that? Everybody's saying C. Let's see if y'all are right. Yep, y'all are right. Got a green check mark. Good job. We can look at the next one. Patient is tested via the affected skin area for yeast infection, is what that is. How would this test be billed? So we've got the 86 and 85 close together. I see that the 85 has skin test with the same number. Yep, 672. Yeah, we'll check it and see. Yep, got a green check mark. Perfect. What about, there's the autopsy. Again, we knew that one was 29 is our answer for that one. Test for chloride can be found, yep, in the electrolyte and renal function on this one. So testing chloride in both metabolic panels, which one would be right? Chloride is not in your lipid. It is not in your generic health. It's not in your lipid, so it's definitely in that one. We've done that one before today. What about the acronym TLC? Here you go, Betty. Stands for which laboratory term? TLC. And we do have a list of acronyms in Lab and Path on a certain page somewhere. 2, by the way. I don't know if I can find it on the fly, but we'll see if I can find it. Nothing's ever easy in this chapter to see. Yep. Page 602 has some acronyms for lab. I don't know if TLC's on here. Yes, it is, actually. 603 and 602. Is our acronym page for Lab and Path, which might come in handy knowing where that is. during it. So thin layer chromo. Be sure, because I've seen some of their questions have thin layer and then they'll spell this word out but with 2-letter differences. So just be careful. It won't be this easy during the real exam. What about a low res HLA2 testing that is performed as part of a pre-transplantation process? Fidea had this one this morning. What do you guys think? I like the 70s because there's 3 of them. So that's where I would go first anyway, unless something didn't match. 370 and 72 and 75. So we're doing class 2. Class 2 matches up with our 5, right? What's our 82 since we're close? It's also a class 2. One of them's low, one of them's high. So very sneaky on that 82 and 75. Those 2 both are class 2s. Just the difference is one is low and one is high. Yep, A is correct for that one. Perfect. Yes, A is your right answer. Morphometric analysis is done on a tumor taken via biopsy. How would it bill? How would you bill? 883, 47. The 260s are close. 883. What do you guys think? Are you looking at the codes? I'm on page 693. We've got lots and lots of morphina whatever analysis here. But are you picking the right one that is collected in the correct frame and being tested? We can probably get rid of 46, right? But our 58 is a tumor, which matches tumor. Our 61 says tumor. It also says quant and semi. And so does our 67. It says quant. I'm going to let y'all decide. Yeah, the question just says taken by biopsy. That's all. There's nothing else there. All they said was this. It's all we get. It's time. It's time. I'm getting B with everybody. Perfect. Good job. That is the correct answer. Y'all are good. Y'all are good. So you could write, the only thing that's said there is via biopsy is the only thing at all that the question is giving you for added words. That's all. I would put via biopsy. That's it. But I hope this has been helpful, guys. I know I learned a lot this time. And I'm hopeful that you guys learned something each time, but it's interesting when I learn something. So I will be back on Friday night. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day, but going to get through it. And then Friday will be a lighter day, just the movies with Mom and back here for a live. And then Saturday, I have tutoring, but then packing after that. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks so much, Twinkle. I really appreciate it. I will download this and post it to YouTube in about 30 minutes. It was hard. It was a good lesson. We learned a lot about Lab and Path. And if you know this stuff, these new questions that are coming out, man, you really know a lot about Lab and Path. You all are very, very welcome. Thanks, Rosalind. Thanks, Trisha. All right, guys, I'm on Discord. Of course, if y'all need me, please join up. Super handy dandy. Plus, you get help from Twinkle and Betty and everybody else. I can't think of anything. My brain is mush right now. I've been doing these codes for 14 hours already today. Oh my gosh. Yes, my brain is mush. You think you can't pass? Oh, MK, please think positively. You are passing. You are going to pass. There's no way. Nobody has left me not passing. I haven't met or heard anybody that has not passed, except for one person who went back to her original career goal, which was doing Disney vacations. She switched over to medical coding because of COVID, and there was no market. The ships were parked for a year out in the ocean. They didn't have any crew or anything, and that's the only reason she decided was when tourism picked back up. She's like, okay, I'm done. So that's it. One person. And if you're passionate about this and you listen to me, you're going to pass. I promise. We're going to get you there one way or another. I'll find a way. So hang in there. Think positively. Put it out there in the universe. You're going to get exam B. You already know what's on it. I've told you all the vocabulary words and CPT codes. We've got them listed on Etsy. It's all there. And then now we're finding even more and more questions from the exam. And you know the answers because I told them to you. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I did A, B, and C. C is awful. I hate C. C is so hard. And if you read too much into the questions, it's going to be terrible. Per section, you need to know, and I need to write this up. As soon as I finish Lab and Path, I'm going to do something about this. Per section, there are key things that you need to look for in the question, and then the rest, ignore it. Like in musculoskeletal, you need to know medial or lateral. You don't need to know partial, complete. You don't need to know a lot of these words to answer the question. Cardiology, you need to know. Ooh, I got a new AKA term for you guys on cardiology, by the way. For cardiology, you need to know if you're arterial or venous. That's number one, half the battle. You got to be able to know what you need to look for in the questions to be able to avoid most of it. I got a new AKA term. That came up in one of their CPC exam questions today. What code is our Infusaport code? What code is that, guys? It is like 61 somewhere, something or another. What code is that? I know you guys know it. What's Infusaport? Where's that sucker? Tunneled versus non-tunneled. Yeah, those kinds of things will help out so much during the CPC exam. Okay, 6-5. Okay, good. I wasn't even nowhere near there yet. Yeah, okay. I was going to take forever to get there. So Infusaport, I'm done, has a new AKA term from aapc. Out of one of their questions, they not only call it Infusaport, so that's for both of these codes, R60 and R61. It's also called Portacath. So when you see Infusaport or Portacath, these two are the two correct answers. All you got to do is pick out your age. Portacath. So that is super cool. I'm going to get y'all there. I'm going to end up figuring all this out and getting y'all the info you need so you can just have it there, code it, and move on to your next question. I've got a Portacath, and they used fluoroscope. That's the code that goes with it with the modifier. Yep, right there. There's your answer to that test question. Move on to your next one. No stress. I'm going to get you there. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the loves. I will see y'all again Friday night. I hope this has been helpful. Good night, guys.
Mommy time.
Mommy time. No mommy time. I'm going to make you write sentences, Mr. Three Strikes, and you're out, mister.